And this is my side garden in the back. We got peonies, we got astilbes, we have spiderworts, which are the real bright, beautiful chartreuse. And the bush in the middle is called a spice bush, and that is a native plant. We are going over here to what we call the forest, which is our backyard. And I try to keep the vinca under control, but as you can see, I got a lot more work to do. We have bluebells all over, which have been growing and growing. Right here, this is a native, this is a native copper iris. That's one of my azaleas I transplanted. That in the middle is brunaria. Some of my baby hostas that I had to out dig from underneath the mulch. And then I have bee balm here, which is also another native, hopefully to attract the bees and the birds. And then this is Solomon seal, which I just think is so adorable. I have several of those. And then I have pink turtle head right here. I have two of those. And then another solemn head. Here's a little garden that is, the fern will be a return, and the little grass right here will be a return. The fern is called a Christmas fern, which is native to Missouri, and the hokoya, I think that's what that's called, is a very small, little, graceful grass that I just love, and that is what do they call it? Dragon's wing begonia. So we're walking from the lower deck to the little walking path that I made. This is a red dogwood that is going to be blooming pretty soon. And the red dogwood bush, when it gets finished blooming and the season is over, as you can see, the twigs or limbs will be red and be a beautiful contrast for the winter. We have 4 azaleas back here. I have a little hosta that I'm trying to nurse right here. There's the grass as it gets a little bit larger. I just love it. I think that's chartreuse. And there's another one that I planted a couple weeks ago, as well as that. A astilbe that came back from a couple years ago. Hosta, another astilbe. That right there next to the concrete pillar, I don't know what, garden ornament, is a Forsythia. And the difference between a Forsythia and the not so good honeysuckle is, if you notice, see the Forsythia, how it has a sawtooth leaf? Well, that means that that's a dogwood. So I'm going to keep that. And then I got a cute little hosta right there. So I'll wait till those little guys get big. And then over here, I just purchased a real cute little climbing clematis. And as you can tell, it's starting to create little attachments to the globe, which is very cool. And that should be blooming pretty soon, so hopefully that will be good to go. And then these 3, they're called a fall cypress. Those were just planted maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So I got to keep an eye on them, make sure that they're watered well. There's a hosta and there's some more hostas, so I will be moving and transplanting those. So that's a little visit of my backyard. Again, here's a very good idea of how deep and dense my backyard is. And do I want to do anything with it? Nope. As you can tell, see where all the leaves are and they make like a little path? Well, that's where the herd of deer go through. Also found a family of possums that came by, which was interesting. Here's our real pretty little dogwood. Our buckeyes, which is right there. The minute, I'll show you a closer look of the buckeyes. These will bloom. I don't know if you can see that. See it? That red right in the middle? Sorry. That is the red flower. And once that flowers, then that means the honeysuckle are in the neighborhood. So here's the... Oh, there's one. I'm going to try to zoom in. See that red right there? Yeah, there it is. That's the red buckeye. They are native to Missouri. And there's my path. As you can see, the dandelions, the, what do they call them? My yellow daffodils. That's where the deer go, and they go all the way over there and through there and into my neighbor's yard. Hopefully they don't stop into my yard. I've been spraying and putting all kinds of deterrents to keep them away. And I kid you not, I'll get up to 15 females and males coming through here with their babies, which is cute, nice, but not so much when you have a garden like we do. So that's a little view of my garden. Hope you enjoyed it. Hello everyone, and welcome to Twisted Dye Kitchen, my fiber journey. This is going to be a quickie. I am located here in Kirkwood, Missouri, where I work in all kinds of fiber arts, whether it's rug hooking, spinning, or knitting. And today it's going to be a relatively quick podcast, primarily just knitting, but I am going to show you a couple of my rug hooking pieces. One that's complete, the frame needs to be sanded down and colored. I think I'm going to be doing that in a black, and then the one that's on my frame. But let's get started. Today is Wednesday, and it is a wild day weather-wise. Yesterday we had snow flurries, which was really just kind of rain that turned into white, fluffy, wet blobs. And overnight it did freeze. So, of course, everyone covered all their little vegetation and their plants. And tonight we're going to be doing that again. This weekend it's supposed to be hitting into the 70s. Go figure. You're in Missouri. You never know what's going to happen from one day to the next. I'm going to show you what I have on, which is a completed project. It is the Sunday Knit by Petite Knits. And I like this stand-up collar, which is really supposed to be rolled and then stitched down. But I love that stand-up. And hopefully you can see. I'm going to get a little closer. I don't have my glasses on. That might help. So it has this nice ribbed shoulder. stand-up collar, as I mentioned. I'm going to do an I-cord buttonhole instead of a buttonhole in the sweater. I'm just going to do a little I-cord, and I think I'm going to do one here, and then I think I'm going to have one maybe here, and maybe one more. I'm not really sure. So that's the sweater. I think I just like maybe two, but my buttons are pretty large. Long sleeves, which is really nice. I love the long sleeves. It's a great, easy cardigan pattern. So much so that I will make another one. This one I wanted to have in the acrylic, which was obviously a mistake, but I was glad that I made it in acrylic. For the people who worry about acrylics that they don't block well, this one does. This particular, I think it's called Brava by Knit Picks. I did block. Took a long time to dry, but I'm glad I did. It blocked out really well. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about, and I don't know if you can tell, but it almost looks like it's been worn a lot. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. But so far so good. It feels very nice and comfortable, and with today's weather, it's perfect. Just perfect. So if anybody's interested for a simple cardigan pattern, go ahead and get the Sunday cardigan. This one is done in bulky, but you can use a worsted and a mohair, which I think I'm going to do next, just to have a little bit nicer one for if we ever get to go out again. So that's out of my bag. The Caitlin Hunter sweater. I have one sleeve that is coming to the end of, as I mentioned to you, I decided not to continue on with the color work. Excuse me. And then I am going to do because it balloons just a little bit, and then there's like a little band at the bottom. I am going to do a little, maybe a couple of rows of the color, and then I'll just bind off, and then I'll do the same on here. And it's probably just as well because I don't have very much of the color, this piece. I don't have very much of that left. But I'm very pleased with this sweater. It's exactly what I wanted. Just something fun. I'm glad I decided not to do this textured piece in here. This yarn, this is when experience really helps and tells you what yarns are best for what type of textures. But this texture area, which is really pretty, the yarn is not doing justice for it. So I hope that makes sense. And then here again, this is another, I don't get this, and maybe it's because the way I treat it, putting it into the bag, but this is another yarn that I'm really not sure what I think about it. It hasn't even been worn yet, but that one is, I want to say 75% in the works and should be done probably in a month or so, just in time for us not to wear it because it'll be nice and hot in the summer. And then, of course, I had to reward myself with a cast on since I completed the Sunday cardigan. This is, so excited. This is yarn from Amanda Clark, who owns Skein of Mine. She does awesome work, and I really wanted to provide, some support to individual dyers. So here is the skein in its glory. Bright, bright yellows, greens, chartreuse, I should say, purples, pinks. I'm not really a pink girl, but I really like this. So I am making the pattern called Calliope. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's a free pattern by, hold on. I'm gonna, Espacito. And again, this is one that it looks very similar, the design of the pattern. I'm not sure if you can see that really well. Has the same type of yoke construction, which is the knit to purl, you know, to give that, what do you call this? You know what I'm talking about. The brain's gone. Maybe I should take some more coffee. The ribbing. See, the brains are in the coffee. Don't let anybody fool you. So, here is the neck so far in all its glory. And it's a shame that this bright yellow green is not showing up. Oh, there we go. But it's just scrumptious. And I love the spotted colors of all of this. And yes, it does have some pink in it, which I'm very happy about. So that's going to be my next. And it's very lightweight. And I'm thinking that, you know, with this type of weather that we're having, or maybe cooler nights, I can go ahead and wear this maybe in May if I can get it finished that quick. And I'm sorry for the crinkling noise, but I wanted to show you. Sorry. Okay, so I have an idea. The original pattern that I wanted to have was the cables, little cables, and it came into a V-neck design right here. And at the end of it, it had these little tassels. So what I thought about this, which the yoke is the ribbed section, I thought when the rib section is, so the knit portion, you know, since this is ribbed, I thought I'd put little tassels of this magenta hot pink at the end of each of the knit sections. I thought that would be really cute. And just in the front, you know, just, I don't know, see how much I have. This is just a little mini, but just enough to either cover the front or maybe go all the way into the back. Who knows? Excuse me. So, that's what I have in my bags and out of my bags for knitting. Very short little segment for knitting. Kind of a creative slump, you know, from the knitting. Obviously, no spinning. I feel really bad about that. And I know it'll come back. I have some beautiful spindles that I'd like to get back out and work on. And I really think that it's because the fiber that I'm using doesn't excite me. And I hate to say that because I'm wasting that yarn that I have that's sitting on a couple of bobbins. And I need to get that finished and completed and off my mind so that I can work on some of the bats that I've created. So the next section that I wanted to show you, which is going to be a quickie, is going to be my rug hooking. So hold on. Okay, so this is my little mat that I did. And this was the pattern that I was going to create a class for. And this is a covered bridge in Maine that my husband and I did some excursions for the covered bridges. And this frame, believe it or not, is really not a frame. It is a tray that I got at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this a black, tack this down just with staples, and then it'll be done, ready to hang. So I had fun making this. It was challenging, but I enjoyed it. The next one I'm going to show you is still on the frame, so I'm going to pause this and then walk you over there. Excuse me. So this is my piece that my husband shot for me, and he created it into a Van Gogh illusion. And the reason for all the bumps is because I wanted to keep the perspective correct, so I would make like a grid so that I knew what I was going to be doing. So here's my mat so far. I have the water. Here's my water in my sky. And here's my little, I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to get a little closer. Is that good? This is my little lighthouse over here. And then this whole section is going to be the cliffs. This was at Cadillac Mountain in Acadia, Maine. And this is a very, very challenging piece. The rocks for sure have, I don't want to say given me some fits, but it's a challenge to create the very angular shapes of these rocks that I want to give a specific type severity to it, knowing that you only have wool strips or yarn or jersey or silk. So, and here's one of my newest pieces. This is my new rug hooking hook. I get these hooks from Larry Alt, and this is made out of recycled bottles. I just thought it was so cool and so colorful. I just love it. He's fixing a couple of my other hooks, so thank goodness I had this because I wouldn't be able to hook without it. That's all for today, folks. I want to say thank you for following me. Thank you for subscribing. This, although it hasn't been on a regular basis, I apologize for that. And like I said, I have a new granddaughter. She's 7 months old. So I'm keeping my daughter happy and content by helping her out as much as I can. And then I also have a part-time job, and I'm trying to get my garden back to some civilization, planting some native plants. So I apologize, but thank you for staying with me, and I appreciate your comments and your hearts and your likes. I really enjoy it. To show me some additional support, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Just let me know if there's anything that you'd like to know a little bit more about. I'll be happy to share. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate your spending time with me. And until then, enjoy.